So does the Racing Post, BBC Sport and other news sources affect horse racing prices? This is going to be a good one. So thanks for the question, Tom. That's a good one. It's a little bit different to usual, but obviously you're trading horse racing prices and you're thinking about the news and how it's affecting things. So it's a yes/no answer for different reasons. Both sides of the fence are important. So I'm going to cover the yeses and then we'll cover the nos afterwards and follow up with a little bit of my own opinion. Now, starting off with the yeses, the Racing Post, other news sources such as the BBC may provide sentiment in some cases, opinion, that add weight to an already public opinion and decision. So for example, in years gone by, Court Star at the Gold Cup was a very memorable trading experience of mine, and the price just crumbled. Now there was huge public support behind Court Star anyway, so you could take an assessment that may have been likely in the live shows, but I think without a doubt the news at the time, particularly the racing channels, and it would have been all over the papers, they were all talking about it and they were all sort of adding sentiment to that situation, or possible sentiment. However, it's not a direct trading signal. Secondly, you've got the Pricewise, you've got various tipping columns, you've got Hugh Taylor, stuff like that. That has an effect on the market one way or another, although I wouldn't say it's something that you need to be looking at if you're looking to make a positive trade, backing it and then laying it off later. Because there's far more variables to any horse racing market. More about that in a second. And then you've got the informational factor with newspapers and the different sources, such as like with the Racing Post, it'll tell you how many runners you've got, if horses have run before, different entries and all that kind of stuff, handicaps and race types, etc. So all of that is useful and that will have an impact on prices. However, we're swaying towards the no side of the fence now. You have to remember that a lot of this information that's in a newspaper is old news anyway, and so it's available to hundreds of thousands of people out there via the internet, the newspapers, etc. So I don't see why the market hasn't catered for that already, and a prime example of that would be Pricewise and Hugh Taylor. So they put up the prices, they say, oh, this horse has got an outside chance, it's 9-1, and then you go and look at the exchanges and it's 6-1, and it has been for the last 2 hours. So it's delayed information. So we know if we're trying to trade and create an edge when we're trading the markets, we need an advantage over the rest of the market. There's no advantage because it's old news, it's already gone, it's available to everybody. So hopefully that sort of qualifies what I'm trying to say there. However, that's not to say that those selections and different tips and stuff, when tied up with other points and indicators within the markets, can be useful to know to help you form a trading decision. So it's available to everyone, basically, it's old news. Now, with reference to the Nicky Henderson example you've given there, I think Nicky Henderson's one of the better trainers. He's definitely more ethical than some, but I think again there's also an incentive for whoever's talking, not particularly Nicky Henderson, to not actually say what they feel all the time, because obviously he's got to answer to owners and and people that are involved with the horse, and therefore they probably don't want him splurging all this inside unique information about a horse's chance or how it's been behaving to the general public if they're thinking about betting it on their own. So that's just something to think about. It's probably not applicable to all trainers, but that's something to think about. And then obviously swaying away from the yes and no's and more my opinion here, the Racing Post is a newspaper, so's the BBC Sport or the Guardian or Telegraph, or if you're looking at the Sun, whatever. At the end of the day, in my opinion, newspapers, they're just full of crap. Newspapers are just there to sort of keep feeding people advertising and news, whether it's biased or not. It's just a case of whether you're in agreement with that particular newspaper. That's why some people read the Sun and some people read the Telegraph, etc. But at the end of the day, newspapers are just full of rubbish. They may have been useful in years gone by, but now with the internet, the speed, the information, like I say, if you're trying to find an edge in horse racing, then you want to find a change or find a potential change which could be built around the different information in the newspaper. For example, a specific race type and something not running before, and then tying that up with money in the markets and way it's behaving, and you can build an opinion like that. However, you're not going to be able to just build this opinion from reading a quote from Nicky Henderson, I'm afraid, in the newspaper. I don't perceive that of any use. That's just sort of opinion and hearsay, and I wouldn't be putting my own hard-earned cash into the markets based on a bit of gossip, if you like, as you put yourself. So hopefully that answers your question fully, and there's a few interesting facts and things to think about there for people that are watching this clip.